What's up, Brooklyn Squad? This is your girl Jay, and I'm back again with another video. So last night we had to stop because my migraines was getting a little too hectic. And usually we do the whole thing of the trial. We are on still continuation of day 4 of the Adam Montgomery trial. His wife Kayla is still on the trial, proclaiming her innocent. But as of a few days ago, we know that that is out the window and she is now showing her true colors. Those tears are all out the window, honey. As of Friday, they were tearing and crying, and we thought she had sympathy for what she did. Baby, those were all fake. So now we see the true Kayla, which is Adam's wife, which is not Harmony's mother, but her stepmother. And now we're going to continue with day 4. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel as I do this hard case for you because, when I tell you, I didn't think it gets any worse with kids being abused. He took the cake for this one. Let's continue.
Right?
Right.
And you said that that was the day the car broke down that you saw dry blood on her face.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go through the transcript and ask about some of those other things that you didn't remember and see if it refreshes your recollection.
Approach. Tara says, "What do you remember?" Yeah, FFS. What do you remember exactly? Wow. Goodness me. Anna said she starts looking nervous. Anonymous says should charge and trial them together. Yeah, they should. But unfortunately, she's the only one who can tell. So they had to make a deal with her, which is a self-serving deal, so that, she could talk. Otherwise, they would never know any of this information or wouldn't have anything to go on for the investigation. Unfortunately. What a fright she'll get if Adam completely turns on her. Huh? I think there's a part of her that still thinks she's like being loyal to him somehow. Yeah, if he comes out and does take the stand, yeah, he'll turn on her so fast.
I'm going to show you. Again, it's that transcript from June 23rd. And ask you to review portions of that transcript. And I'm going to show you 229 down to all of 229 and 230.
Slick says she seems to not remember things that have her in close contact with the situation. You live in a car, you would know what abuse was happening. She expands on her answers. She incriminates herself. Yep. That's a good point. Denny says, can you imagine him on the stand on cross? He will lose his poop on the stand on cross. Okay.
Tell the police. That help refresh your recollection?
Yeah.
And so you did tell the police that Harmony had a bloody nose and had blood on it. He had blood on his hands and was wiping the seat with a napkin.
Yeah, but that happened days before. That happened before she died.
Sure. But the wiping was on when the tow truck driver was there?
Yeah, when we went back to the car,
Okay.
I remember cleaning.
Okay. And it was for the blood that was on the car?
I don't remember what it was for. Adam just wanted to clean it.
Okay. But you recalled that you did see blood, you said, on Harmony's face,
Yeah.
right? And it was that day, right?
Yes.
And where you saw Adam cleaning was around the area that Harmony was sitting, right?
Right.
And you said that Adam had blood on his face that day? I mean, on his fist that day?
Yeah, on his hand.
And that Harmony had blood on her face?
Dried blood, yeah.
Right. But not from days before. Are you saying she had dry blood from days before?
Yeah, she had dry blood on her face.
From days before.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Yeah. Didn't even help clean that. This is horrifying. It's getting worse. So she had dried blood on her face from days before, from all the other times, that Adam allegedly hit her for making accidents in the back of the car. Okay. And if she had toilet accidents in the back, yeah, whatever. We had just either put her clothes in a bag or just left her lying in it, as she said. Sure, this way this woman talks, I don't know, man. Just remember, it's my opinion. I also have the right to my opinion. I try my very best to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Just like Uncle Kevin, I know people are like snarking at him. He should have done better. He should have known. He looked terrified. He looked horrified and super guilty, right? Try my best. I did give Kayla the benefit of the doubt all of Friday. I have since changed my mind after hearing the evidence, the things that she's saying herself. I've changed my mind. If it hasn't changed your mind, that's perfectly okay. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just watching the trial with you. I'm hosting this trial so that we could watch it together and discuss it. I want to hear what you think. I want to tell you what I think, right? This person is looking like freaking Letitia at this point. I mean, like, what in the hell is she even saying? It just gets so bad. And we thought Friday was the worst. It's really one of those that could it get worse? That's what I said to my husband, Raphael. He's sitting here, by the way, and both cats are here too. I said to him on Friday night, because obviously I finish these streams very late, at midnight to 1 a.m. So I go there and I say, you think that this case was bad enough? Because I tell him a little bit, it's worse. Every day gets worse. And I hope next week doesn't get even worse. It's getting worse, you guys. It's so bad. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that we can watch this trial together. And I really hope that there will be full justice for Harmony.
Me too, girl.
It's hard to call her Harmony Montgomery as well, right?
That's
With
right.
her being a Montgomery
Justice
and Adam
for
being a
Harmony.
Montgomery. I think I'm just going to call her Harmony. Sure.
It's horrible.
And you never cleaned her face for days?
No, you just kept her under the blanket.
He never cleaned up, period. They never did her underwears. They never did anything. They barely gave a damn about themselves.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Look at her face. She's kind of like, what? It's almost like she's used to being the most hated person in the room, especially by now. And she's like, I don't care. What? Yeah. We just covered her with a blanket. Okay. And then tell me, how was she supposed to ask to go to the bathroom? Because I'm speculating. They would tell her you cannot go to the bathroom in the day. You can only go at night, so they can sneak in somewhere and hopefully, or make them go in the bushes or on the snowbank or wherever. It's so terrible. Shame, man.
Now, you said yesterday, Friday, that you and Adam had talked about what to do together. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that you sort of came together with the plan to say that Adam had taken Harmony to her mother's.
That's what Adam told me to say. Yes.
Okay. I am going to switch over now to when you go to fit. Okay?
Which time?
With Adam, Declan, and Seamus,
Okay.
and the body of Harmony.
Okay.
And so Adam no longer had a car after December 7th, right?
Right.
And he no longer had the freedom to drive wherever he wanted to, right?
Right.
And when he drove, there would be somebody else in the car, right? He would be driving someone else's car, right? And sometimes he drove Badero's car, right?
That was way before.
Okay. And you still didn't have any money, right?
Right.
And from 2 days in Badero's car, you go to your mother's.
Right.
And I think you actually go to an aunt's or something, and from there, your mother comes over and gets you off.
Yes.
And you could only stay for a very limited time.
Yes.
She might get in trouble with her landlord.
Yes.
And so you were trying to get into the shelter.
Yes.
And you worked and applied and everything like that for the shelter.
Yes.
Would you walk over there to do that?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So you, Adam, and the kids would walk over to the shelter to apply for shelter there.
We walked to city welfare.
Okay.
Panda Bella says, I can't watch any more of this today. Much love to you all. Totally understandable. Just know we save a seat for you. Your seat will be kept warm. I hope you'll come back. It's terrible, right? Thank you all for being here with me. It's I couldn't do this without you either. Lisa said, how many
Well,
months or
we
years
can't
was
do
Harmony
this
beaten?
without you,
Adam got custody of her in
Grizzy.
February of 2019. Her biological mother was struggling with substance abuse as well. And so Harmony was in foster care from 2 months old already. And we saw her foster parent on the stand on Friday, on day 3 of the trial.
Mhm.
And so only from February 2019 until December 7th of 2019, so 10 to 11 months, is how long Harmony was in Adam Montgomery's care. It took less than a year from when the judge gave Adam Montgomery, a career criminal with a very dark, long rap sheet, which we've looked at
That's
before,
right.
to give him full custody without checking what the home situation would be like or anything like that. They didn't follow protocol. It was also across borders, well, to a different state, right? And so from February 2019 to December 7th, that's how quick it was from Harmony being in his care to being murdered. Sure.
And would you, Adam, and the kids be in the office all together making the application?
When we filled out the application, yes.
Okay.
And then I saw the case manager. I don't remember if we were together or if it was just me.
Okay. Now, when you told the jury that it fit, you had taken the duffel bag from the ceiling.
Sorry, y'all.
Delta Dawn says no remorse
Got
whatsoever
allergies,
makes me
so
sick.
y'all gonna have to bear with me.
Yeah, whether she's on medication right now or not, whatever, there's no remorse. Even if people say, well, that numbs her. Okay, but there's still no remorse. And there's not no emotion. She certainly has these streaks of anger that come out. She certainly snaps back sometimes at the answers. She's defensive about certain
Yes,
things
she
and other things
does.
not so much. Right?
She sure
This
does.
is
She's
really
way
terrible.
different
I do not look at her
from
the same way
the
at
last
all.
time,
Okay.
actually.
And I did give her the benefit of the doubt first.
We did. Lizzie, we did give her
Okay,
the
so let's
benefit
just
of
go
the
forward
doubt,
a
but we
little bit.
can't no more. She's a savage
And
like
Adam
Adam.
was
There we go.
She's a savage. And she got to go down too, girl. Come on now, Grizzy. She's got to go down too, baby. I think we both agree with that.
didn't realize I'd said it. Adam took the duffel bag down from the ceiling, right?
Yes.
And Adam was the one that put the duffel bag in the ceiling in the first place, right?
Yes.
And you said that he took the duffel bag down from the ceiling and had it in the shower for hours.
Had it in the bathroom. Yes.
Oh, was there a shower there?
Yes.
And did he have it in the shower for hours?
I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. And from the bathroom, where did it go?
To the closet.
In what?
Trash bag.
Okay. And then what?
CMC bag.
Oh my goodness, everyone. Okay, again, trigger warning. If you were not there to listen to Friday's testimony, trust me, the details here are horrifying. Moving a little girl's body for 4 months, carrying it around, going everywhere, from the duffel bag. Then into the duffel bag is wrapped in trash bags, double bagged, put in a ceiling vent, put in a closet, put in a refrigerator. Then her body's put in a bathtub where Adam then runs hot water over her body for hours, trying to make it more supple. And then he talks about a NutriBullet, dismembering her. He buys a saw, a diamond blade cut, all kinds of things. It's horrifying. Puts some of the remains, it sounds like, and lots of lime in the CMC bag, which Kayla then wheels in her double stroller to the Portland Pie Company where Adam was working as a, did they say dishwasher and cook? I think they said, right? Stored her body there in the freezer for a little bit, about a week or so. And then from there, he rented a U-Haul, apparently, allegedly, and then got rid of lots of little packages wrapped in plastic, is what the friend Travis Beach said, who might be on the witness stand at some point. That's going to be interesting as well. So, trigger warning. That's what I'm saying. I'm just warning you for what you might hear.
Okay. So it went from the bathroom into a trash bag, one of those big black things.
Yes.
And from there, it goes into the closet. For how long?
I don't know, a day or two.
Okay. And there, the trash bag and Harmony's body goes in the CMC bag.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you identified Exhibit 85 as pretty much a duplicate of the bag that you got from CMC, right?
Yes.
And this is a bag that's given when you give birth at CMC, right?
Yes.
And it's for diapers and carrying things around for your children, right?
Yes. Diaper bag.
Pardon?
Diaper bag.
Okay. And
so diaper bag, they always called it a maternity bag, but now we also know it's the CMC diaper bag. And she possibly got it, because her youngest son was 11 months old. So maybe they had it for a bit, but to think what they did with that. Oh my goodness.
from the CMC bag with the trash bag and Harmony's body,
Yes.
where does it go?
To Portland Pie.
Okay. And then where?
To Union Street.
How?
In a tote.
Okay. From where to where did it go to Union Street? Where did it get in the tote?
From the shelter.
So how did the CMC bag get back to the shelter?
It came back from Adam's work. To
Okay.
the shelter.
Who brought it back?
Adam.
Okay. Who brought it to Portland Pie?
I did.
Okay. So,
So even that, I think the defense is doing well. I don't know if that helps Adam's case at all. They're defending the client, Adam Montgomery, but to, make the jury aware that she took Harmony's body in a CMC bag to the Portland Pie Company because Adam told her to. Remember, she just does what she's told. And then Adam took it from there to the next place. It just shows that they're both responsible, right?
are you saying that it's in the CMC? There's a body in a trash bag in the CMC bag in the tote
Not in the tote at the time.
when you go to Union?
When we go to Union, yes.
Okay. And so you told.
One more time. So that everyone understands just how horrifying this is, walking on Elm Street. That's why I say it's like the real Nightmare of Elm Street here. Kayla had a double stroller. I always imagine it like when the kids are next to each other, but the way she described it is one of those where they're like one's in the front, one's in the back. And in between her own sons, she put the CMC bag with that had Harmony's remains in it, in between her two boys, and took that pram and walked down the street from where they were staying at that fit shelter and went and dropped a bag off at the Portland Pie Company, which has since closed. I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I'm not surprised if it would. But anyway, wheeled it there in that stroller, pretending to be, a mom to her two boys, just like taking the body to my man's work, where he put it in the freezer for a bit. And there was even co-workers that were like, oh yeah, I saw that bag there. I don't know what it was, but I saw it there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel because we have a lot more content to show.
Okay. So you take the tote. You take the CMC bag, but not the tote.
But she trying to keep her
The
eyes
Portland
open.
Pie.
I don't know what dose she on, but
Not the plastic, right?
I'm confused.
So am I.
no,
I'll back up. Sorry. To reorient ourselves, at some
Yeah.
point, you say that Adam takes the body down
They
from
up to
the
dose. They
ceiling
up to
tile.
dose, I think.
Yes.
And it's because there's a smell.
Well, it could be the
Yes.
migraine medicine.
And it's because other people in FIT
up to methadone.
are concerned about the smell.
Yes.
And
Stand by if you didn't see the probable cause affidavit. So they were staying at this family's in transition shelter. Okay. And Adam had put this duffel bag, which was then wrapped in, I think, 2 trash bags, in the ceiling vent. But yeah, there was an odor that other tenants staying there picked up on, and they complained. So Adam took that bag out of the ceiling vent with Harmony's body in it. Remember, he carried her body around for 4 months, and then put it in the closet while a maintenance worker came in and checked the vent. And he said, oh, there must have been a dead animal up there or something, because I don't see anything now. Well, that's probably what it is. And he's like, oh, okay. So after that, they were like, oh, we need to make a plan. 2 of them, we need to make a plan now to better hide this. And so from there, Harmony's body was put in a CMC bag and then taken to this Portland Pie Company to put in the fridge and then moved all around. We've looked at it all before. So if you go check out part 1 of the trial prep, just check it out on my playlist. We looked at part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? We did a deep dive before the trial started so that we could all get ready, have very big emotional shields on because we knew what we were signing up for with this case. It's really horrific. But yes, that's what we're listening to here now. Also, Tan Y said, if Adam was in the courtroom, would she be acting the same? That is a good question. Do you guys think that she would be acting the same if Adam was in the courtroom right now staring at her? I wonder.
you all are concerned that somebody might be checking the place to find out about the smell
Yes.
because you've heard the complaints
Yes.
and you're scared.
Yes.
And I think you said Adam takes Harmony's body down into the bathroom
Yes.
and takes her body out of the duffel bag
Yes.
and puts her body in a trash bag
Yes.
and puts the trash bag in the closet.
In the CMC bag in the closet.
Okay. So from the bathroom, is her body put in the CMC bag?
In the trash bag. The trash bag's in the CMC bag.
And that all happens in the bathroom.
Yes.
And then you
AC, you said it for me. Smart, right? Yes, because dead animals typically remove themselves. Yeah, shame. That one was like, must have been a dead animal. Like, probably not. It's probably a little bit Dahmerish of a situation. Like, maybe check into it, right?
said, I believe on direct, that Adam tells you to take the CMC bag to Portland Pie.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
He had asked me to bring her body in the CMC bag to his work at Portland Pie
When?
while we were at the shelter.
Was it right after you say that he put the body in the CMC bag?
Yes.
So like the next day?
I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple of days.
Okay. And where was he when he did this? Was he in the shelter with you saying, bring this body to me?
Yes.
So he's in the shelter with you and at some point goes to work
Yes.
and has told you to bring this CMC bag to work.
Yes.
Why didn't he just take the CMC bag?
I don't know.
Good question.
So
Ooh, they're doing such a good job of making her look like absolutely monstrous right now. Good Lord, my word. This woman. I don't know. Why didn't he just take it there? I don't know. That is a good question, though. Maybe they would have been, I mean, why didn't you just get to work? We don't want to give them tips, you know. But if you got to work a little earlier the day or something and wanted to sneak in the bag, that's one thing. But for her to arrive, and like, how did that work out? See, they could blame her just like, oh, no, my wife just brought me this. I just want to keep this in the freezer for a bit. I wonder what everyone else thought it was or how it happened or if she snuck in and put it in the fridge. I don't know, man. It's just so scary.
you have 2 kids and a stroller, right?
Yes.
And so tell me about those arrangements, getting the seat, and you take the seat, all of that to Portland Pie.
Yes.
Tell me about how you did that.
It was a double stroller. So I had one kid in the front and there's a basket underneath, and I put the CMC bag in the basket, and then the other kid was on the other side, on the other seat.
Okay.
The other kid. Nice way to talk about your own boys there. Wow. Have you noticed sometimes she gets this, I don't know why she does it, but that vocal fry when she's talking about the most horrifying things, like she just did. Sure. If you don't know what vocal fry is, it's like, yeah, why did you, like, why are you talking like that now, lady? Just sit up, say the facts. This is terrible. And yes, why didn't she refuse, as someone said? She's like, no, I'm not going to bring that. Like, what are you doing? Why can't she leave? Why can't she call the police? Why can't she? I know there's many questions people ask, right? And initially we thought, okay, she's a victim of coercive control and domestic violence, and she was terrified and all that. But some of these actions go so beyond that terror, right? It's just,
It does.
she's very sinister herself.
That's what I'm
So
saying, my
you-
girl.
Cool. Ooh, now it looks like we need the sound of crickets again. Look at that.
Crickets. But we
Empty
don't want the
chair where the
crickets.
defendant is supposed to be. Did you see my?
Those were the only tools in the bathroom, right?
That I saw, yes.
How big's the bathroom?
The bathroom wasn't that big.
Okay. You saw the things that were in the bathroom, right?
Yes.
And you claim to have seen a bag of lime in the bathroom, right?
Yes.
You didn't see any tools, right?
No, I saw a bag of lime and trash bags.
Okay. And there weren't any tools sitting outside the bathroom, right?
No.
Okay. And you didn't hear any power saws?
No, because it was really loud.
What was really loud?
Our neighbor next door was a drunk and very loud, always blasting his music.
Okay. And you think that the music could have overcome power tools if they were used?
I believe so. Yeah, it was very loud all the time.
Okay. And when you first talked to the police, you actually denied that you helped Adam in the bathroom, right?
Right.
And you denied that you had anything to do with what he did in the bathroom.
Right.
You said that Adam didn't want you in the bathroom.
I feel like she's kind of still covering for him there. Like, I only saw trash bags and Yeah, she was also part of using scissors to cut clothes off Harmony's body, which would have been 3 or 4 months after the fact, which is horrifying in itself. But Adam from Home Depot, he bought lime, he bought a saw, a backup saw blade, a diamond cutting saw blade, and a backup battery. So if he bought all that, you see by her saying, well, I didn't hear anything because, there was a drunk next door. She sounds pretty judgmental when she says that, huh? Anyway, so when she's like, there was this drunk next door playing his music so loud all the time. Okay. And remember, her 2 kids were there in the apartment too. Well, Adam was in the bathroom doing all that. Wow. Okay. It just sounds like she's covering for him. Like, no, I don't really hear anything. Because the music was loud. But he might have had all those tools in there because why else would he have them?
Right.
And then when you had to admit that you were in the bathroom, you ended up admitting that you cut off the hoodie, right?
Right.
And you ended up admitting that you were zipping up the bag
Yes.
at the end.
Yes.
So you were in the bathroom for a while?
No.
For a few times?
Like a couple times, yes.
Okay. And otherwise, the shower was going?
Yes.
And so presumably the water is doing something?
Yes.
And a bag of lime on the floor in the bathroom would generally not be touched by a shower that's in the tub, right?
No, it was in the corner of the bathroom.
Okay, away from the tub.
Yes.
Okay. But the shower, I think you said, was going continuously
Yes.
the whole time,
Yes.
and you could hear that.
That's what I saw.
Saw or heard?
I saw. I couldn't hear it, but I saw.
And you saw it going the whole time?
Not the whole time, but I assumed the whole time
Okay. Okay.
because he told me what he was doing.
Okay. And you and Adam were working together to take the clothes off of Harmony
Yes.
and put her in the bag.
I didn't put her in the bag.
You zipped up the bag.
He needed help zipping up the bag. I was there in the beginning and I was there in the end.
Excuse me. Sir, you need to step out or turn the pager off. Okay, please step out. Thank you. I would re-ask your question, Teresa.
I forgot what it was. Okay. So what you're saying now is you didn't know if the shower was going the whole time.
No.
Okay. Now you didn't know if Adam used any tools in the shower because you weren't there the whole time,
Right?
but you never saw any.
No.
And the police specifically asked you about tools
Yes.
and specific types of tools, right?
Yes.
And you told them that the only tool that Adam had was a box, a big box under the counter in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that when he pulled out that box one time when he was losing it, he broke the counter.
Yes.
And it was a pretty big box, right?
Yes.
And you did not see any other power tools in the apartment
No.
before or since?
I'm sorry?
Before that day or after that day?
No.
Okay. And they actually showed you pictures of power tools
Yes.
to ask you about those power tools.
Yes.
And did they show you a picture of a big table saw?
Yes.
And that was or was not similar to what you had seen in the apartment?
It was similar to it.
Okay.
Sebastian, thank you. You said trying to trip her up and defense not doing well. I think they're trying to trip her up, and I think the defense is doing well. So we could differ there. I think they're doing a good job. Not really for. I get what you mean. Not for Adam. I don't know how this helps Adam's case so much, except that the jury's looking at her now. Which, if you saw the live stream we had with Sunny Slaughter, Yeah, Sonny was saying one of the defense strategies would be to put someone like this on the stand, star witness for the state, totally grill her. That's their best strategy because now the jury will mostly remember her. I mean, they can't even see Adam. I still think it is a strategy that he's not in the room there. A defense strategy too, not just him chickening out or whatever. I think it's part of the strategy. And for that to then be complete, one would think then that he'd take the stand at some point, right? Eddie, don't worry. Thank you so much.
I'm going to show you a picture. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes.
And is that what you're saying? Well, how do you recognize this picture?
It's a table saw.
Uh-huh. And was that the type of tool that you had seen in the apartment?
Yeah, it was a table saw in the box.
Okay. And I'm gonna.
She's also just like, it's a table saw. Yeah, he had that. Why did he have that? It's not a normal thing to have around in that situation. You know, after they just lived in the car and now they're in this apartment and it's just like, got a table saw. What? And lime and trash bags and blades and a diamond cutting saw blade. Oh my goodness. Jeep said, I think the jury is bored. So you said, I think the jury's bored with Caroline. Sorry, I've not a popular thought. I'd be livid if I was a juror and I've been a juror. Tell me what you guys think. If I were on the jury, yeah, like Mary says, I would have reasonable doubt. So in my mind, I think the defense is doing the best they can to defend the client. Because if you think of it like just the strategy, you know, I think the defense is doing a pretty good job. I'm not bored today from what they're asking and what's being said. And let's wait to see how the redirect's going to be. That's going to be interesting too, right? Because Kayla seems to have a certain mode for when she's talking to the prosecutor and a certain mode for when she's answering the defense questions. And it's really very contrasting. So let's see how that goes today. Yeah, Stefan's like backup blade and a backup battery. You bought it from Home Depot. But the table saw, yeah, I don't know.
Ask that this page be marked as an exhibit, Your Honor. It's not pre-marked.
In fact, before the trial, Adam Montgomery and his defense attorneys had filed a motion to have the evidence of him buying the lime kept out of the trial. The judge denied that motion, but he didn't want the jury to know that he bought lime.
Attorney Smith, for identification or full?
Full.
Any objection?
No.
All right, it can be marked as a full exhibit.
And they also showed you a picture of a circular saw, right?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, I'm going to show you another picture. And ask you if
She
you
only
recognize
remembers
that.
certain
What's
things.
in that?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what it looked.
Pardon?
It looked more like what it was than that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you actually told the detective that it looked like the cordless compact circular saw.
No, it wasn't cordless.
Okay. You say it had a cord.
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I did not have this pre-marked. I would like this offered as a full exhibit.
Can be entered as a full exhibit.
Thank you. And this is, thank you.
Girl, you still going down regardless. So I don't know what the fuck.
And do you remember the detective saying out loud that, did it look like the cordless compact circular saw? And you said, yeah.
No.
Okay. got a copy of Defendant's Exhibit E for ID.
Robin says the only doubt is how the hell this woman, who is completely culpable in the murder and cover up of the death of this precious child, has immunity. Watching her debate semantics is utterly infuriating. The problem is she's the only one who can talk, the only one with information, because it took over 2 years for the police to even know that Harmony was missing. So, if they didn't have any information from Kayla, they wouldn't know anything. They wouldn't know where to start looking and where they stayed, and to look in the ceiling vent, for example, where there was forensic evidence, to be able to test the cooler at her mother's house, to test the car, to find the troll's toothbrush, to find Harmony's DNA.
It
All of
wouldn't
that.
have had a battery pack if it had a
Unfortunately,
cord.
they have to use her in that way. It's a deal so that she can talk, because she's the
This
only
girl
one
would do
who
anything
knows.
for her man, and that
Even
is
though
so
there's a lot of
true, and
lies
that
in
is
between,
really
a lot of I don't
sad.
remember.
And I'm gonna ask you to again
She won't do
look wherever
nothing
you
for
want.
the
Let me put this in an
kids.
easier position.
Oh God, man, I don't
But
get it.
read that portion.
That's how we never
please.
get how parents are. Just will never get it.
Oh, Sharon says yes. This would
Yeah, it
make
wasn't
her
cordless.
an accomplice or an accessory.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were talking about in the plea deal document we looked at, obstruction of justice charges could also, if she doesn't comply with, the conditions of her plea deal, that could also be part of it. So yes, it's interesting how she says it wasn't cordless, because he bought a saw, a backup saw blade, a diamond cutting saw blade, lime, and a backup battery. I think the backup battery implies there's something there that's cordless, not.
Okay, but the photograph that the detective had showed you was, as he said, of a cordless compact circular saw, right?
Right.
And the photograph that's been marked as I at least indicates it's a cordless compact circular saw or cordless circular saw.
Yeah, that's what it says. But it wasn't cordless, the one that was in the house, the apartment.
But that was the one that it looked like?
Yeah.
You see, it's amazing right now how she doesn't just say, I don't remember. No, now she's pedantic about it. No, it wasn't cordless. It wasn't cordless. It seems like it could have been, though. And they're probably going to have receipts if he did buy it. If he didn't steal the stuff and bought it, they're going to have receipts. So she's going to talk herself into another lie. But this, she's like, no. She has to make sure that these details are all ironed out. But when it's anything to do with Harmony, nope, I don't remember.
Okay. And then Detective Dunleavy showed you another photograph and asked if that perhaps looked like the tool under the sink.
That one?
No, a different one.
I don't know.
Do you recall him showing you a picture of a miter saw?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
Apparently he had an angle grinder. That's also what they had said previously in some of those trial prep episodes. We looked at them talking about it possibly being an angle grinder, which, the backup battery could have been for that. These are all very scary tools that he had to do scary things by the sounds of it. Mm-hmm.
We'll get there. Okay. So earlier in direct, you were given a picture of a power tool, right?
Yeah.
And you had signed that photograph, right?
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, initialed it, right? Yeah. Do you know when you initialed it?
No.
Pardon?
No.
Was it recent or a long time ago?
I know I did some recent and I did some a long time ago, so I don't remember.
You signed some photographs recently and signed some a long time ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you. And I keep saying sign, and I'm misstating. You initialed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 63.
For identification or full?
It's been in as full.
That was recent.
This you
Yes.
signed recently
Yes.
in one of those prep sessions.
Yes.
And back in March 16, 2023, you did not sign Exhibit 63 as the tool that you had seen, right?
Right.
And if I may publish, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Okay. There's a bit of a picture of it. Scary, scary. Sure. Okay.
And the name of the type of saw on that photograph that you recently signed was M18 fuel 18 volt lithium ion brushless cordless size grinder with paddle switch tool only.
Grinder. Okay. Also, if you guys are on Patreon, then you watched what I said earlier, but I remember now I didn't tell you guys in the stream yet. I was watching Crime Curious's stream the other day. Crime Curious, her that's her channel name, Jennifer, is at the trial every day. She's attending the trial, and then in the evenings she debriefs, how it was in the courtroom, and does like study sessions, right? So I was watching that one because my number one question was, I wonder how the jury's responding to all of this. And in her latest live stream, she had said, and I'll put her links in the description box, as I have done on many of the days of covering this trial as well. She said that there was a lady that she sat next to at lunch, and that lady had a better view of the jury. And when they were talking, when Kayla was on the stand, which was on Friday, she said that one of the male jurors had tears streaming down his face as he was listening to all of this, all of the stuff that Kayla was saying. And that Harmony's mom, Crystal, was also in the courtroom, but had to eventually leave, which is also totally understandable, right? So if you want like behind the scenes info like that, yeah, Crime Curious is where I go and I listen to be like, what was it like in the courtroom? Because we're sitting here watching it from all over the world, right? Together like this, the whole trial day unfold virtually like this. And then there we get to learn some more information of like, oh, what was it like in the courtroom? What did the jury seem like? What were the other people's reactions? You know what I mean? Could be quite interesting. Okay, so just wanted to tell you that little bit, that I think the jury, can you imagine? The jury must be horrified by all this.
Yes.
But back in March of 2023, when you were shown photographs, you identified the one that looked most like the tool as the cordless circular saw, right? I'll show you Defendant's Exhibit I.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
This cordless circular saw photograph was the one that you identified most like the tool that was under the counter.
Yes.
Okay, if I may, Your Honor.
Yep.
Bring it over here, baby. I can't see it. Let me see.
So how was it that you came to initial a grinder with paddle photograph? What happened? What was the exchange where you initialed it?
Because my mom had a similar tool just like that one. Adam asked to take it, and I said, no, you're not taking it. It's my mother's.
Okay.
And he wanted to take it, and I don't remember if he took it or not because he would have did it behind my back.
Okay.
I thought he never listened, so he took it right. Just say it.
And there were never any new
He don't mind. He don't pay
So in
kids
those
no mind.
moments, she's
He'll do
like
it when
bossing
they
him around,
say.
but other times,
Probably would have took
terrified
it.
of him. You
basically.
see what I mean?
Tools in the apartment, right?
Not that I knew of.
And
Hmm.
you didn't see any new tools around the time that you were talking about the things that you and Adam did in the shower.
Right, but he also brought lime and whatever else into the apartment, and I had no idea.
Okay. And you also talked to the prosecutor about tools in your prep session, right?
Right.
And in that prep session, you said you didn't know of any tools, but Adam said he wanted to, right?
Yes.
And that came in the most recent prep sessions that Adam told you he wanted to use tools.
Right.
And you didn't say when they were asking you about tools in June 3rd or June 23rd, you didn't see any tools, but Adam wanted to use tools, right?
Right.
And you didn't say in March 16 of 2023 that you didn't see tools. There was an old thing that looked kind of like the circular saw, but Adam said he wanted to use tools, right? And when you're prepping for your testimony here, I think that you said your parole hearing was coming up in May.
I don't know about my hearing. I know my minimum is in May.
Okay, and so you are hoping for a parole hearing and to get out in May, right?
Yeah.
But it's not guaranteed, right?
No.
Okay. And on that time where the state had you initial that fuel grinder, did they show you the picture and say, have you ever seen this?
Yes.
And you said, oh, my mom has one.
I said, yes, my mom had one. I saw that she had one of those.
Okay. And when they showed you this picture, that you thought it might be important to the case, right?
Because Adam asked to take it, and I
Okay.
told him not to.
Okay. And that's a real clear memory, right?
Right.
And it's something that you never mentioned in.
That's a real clear memory. She's like, yeah. She remembers telling him off. Just no, you will not be taking my mother's power tools. Oh, I thought you could never say no to him. Terrified of him, right?
20 in June or March 22, 23, right?
Because it didn't get brought up. I wasn't thinking about that.
Well, they were asking about tools, weren't they?
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about tools that my mom had. I wasn't remembering that Adam wanted to take that.
Okay. Okay. And what was that tool? Did you remember what it was?
A handsaw.
Okay.
That's what I call it anyway.
Okay. And what were the circumstances that you saw it at your mom's place?
Because my mother works with wood. She has her own refurbishing company, and she does her own woodwork.
Okay.
And she just got it. It was brand new in the box.
Okay. So if
The handsaw, it was just brand new in the box. Adam will not be touching that to dismember this child. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying it like that so that that's how I'm hearing it from her. Like she's so protective of that saw of her mother's. It's brand new in the box. But again, does she even realize what she's talking about? What Adam wanted it for? Like, read the room, Kayla. Wow.
if it was brand new and purchased, it was brand new in December of 2021.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm a little confused because they're talking about December of 2021. So what did he want to use that for? I still want to know. Because why are they talking about that? December of 2021, they got arrested in January of 2022. And Harmony died in December of 2019. And Adam allegedly got rid of lots of packages covered in plastic in March of 2020. Anyway, I'm listening.
police showed you a photograph of the CMC bag when you were doing the interview in June of 2023, right?
Yes.
And you identified that as the same type of bag, the same as the one that you got from Catholic Medical Center when you had your child.
Yes.
And you actually thought that it was.
Maybe they're talking about talking to her in December of 2021, right? I think they're talking about talking to her. Sometimes the defense attorney, wow, her timelines sometimes are all over the place. She jumps from here to there to here to there, and it's a little hard to follow. But okay, I think I'm following.
We good. We're good.
Your bag.
Right.
You thought they had found the bag.
Yeah.
And you had thought that because you recognized this little spot
Yeah.
in the photograph. I may publish, Your Honor.
Yes, Christy Caroline is teleporting to 2021. Now we're back in 2019, I think.
Thank you all for joining me. Please hit that thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel if you are not. We are continuing from last night, the Adam Montgomery trial. Adam Montgomery had unalived his beautiful, adorable princess, Harmony Montgomery, at the age of 5. He had temporary custody because her biological mother had an addiction problem, as well as he did, actually, with a long history. But the state still gave him custody, which they should have not. CPS failed this child tremendously. And now we are looking at his wife on stand, which is her stepmother, tell a bunch of bullshit. Have no empathy nor sympathy at all. So this is continuation from last night. And later on, we would be doing day 5. Let's continue. Hit that like button, please, and share this video. Shout out to Grizzy, because she's doing an amazing job. Go check her out, her platform.
So let me talk about what you've described as the treatment of that CMC bag. You say that Harmony's body was taken down from the ceiling at FIT and put into the shower at FIT
Yes.
and put into a trash bag and into the CMC bag.
Yes.
And that body stayed in the CMC bag for a while.
Yes.
And then
So now we're back to 2020. Harmony died on December 7th of 2019, according to Kayla's timeline. And according to when that Chrysler Sebring broke down, which she said was on the same day, which the tow company towed the car and the day, and that's what corroborates that. So now they're talking, I think, about, the first 3 months of 2020, where they were carrying Harmony's body around.
And you took the CMC bag down the street to Portland Pie.
Yes.
And then the CMC bag came back to
Approach time, okay.
bathroom.
There we go. Skipping through those silent sidebars.
Mm-hmm.
And that Harmony's body was in the closet in that bag at Union, right?
Yes.
And that then Harmony's body was in the refrigerator in that bag.
Yes.
And then Harmony's body was in the bathroom with water running and her body and lime and all that stuff in that bag.
Yes.
And then in the freezer.
Yes.
And then taken away.
Yes.
And you believed
Oh.
that this bag was the same bag
Yes.
because of that little dot there.
Yes.
Because the last time you saw the bag, that was the only stain on the bag, or something.
Not the
like
only
it.
stain, but that was a stain that would not go away.
Ah, did you wash the bag?
No, but I tried getting it off
How?
by rubbing it off.
Okay.
Oh, you finally know how to
Wiping it.
wash things.
Pardon?
Interesting.
Wiping it.
Okay. Okay. Now after the
So then you
thing in the
just
shower,
part
Adam
of getting away.
became pretty despondent,
Yeah.
right?
Keep telling on yourself, boo.
What does that mean?
Hurt inside.
Yeah.
And you said that he tried to kill himself.
Yeah.
And you told him that he had to live and be there for the kids.
Right.
And that the kids need him and you needed him and he shouldn't do it.
Yes.
Aces?
Right.
Without your, if I may rephrase, Your Honor,
All right, you may rephrase. The question is withdrawn. The objection is sustained.
without saying exactly what you said, you tried to talk about your lives together to give him something to live for.
Yes.
Okay. And the main focus of that was the kids.
Yes.
Okay. The
Yeah, you guys are all saying this is new, that's new. We did not ever hear that before. That
No.
Adam Montgomery wanted to take his own life after that. Now,
Right.
whether it's true or not, we don't know. But damn, the defense is doing a good job of
Sure the hell is.
putting the focus on Kayla. Because that
Mhm.
would show some guilt or shame or remorse or something, if that's true. This one doesn't show anything like that from what we can see, right?
completely changing the subject. I want to take you back to the summer of 2019, and you testified about Kevin and Adam having an argument and you overhearing it.
Yes.
And the argument was about Kevin Montgomery's failure to pay bills that he had promised to pay, right?
Part of it. Yeah.
Okay. You all were kind of left in the lurch because those bills weren't paid, right?
Yes.
I may have a moment, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
When you're ready.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Tree Knowles, I need you to have a microphone there, so I don't know if you. Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So, Kayla, you just said that part of that argument was about failure to pay bills. Can you tell the jurors what the other part of that argument was about?
It was about Adam hitting Harmony.
It was about, sorry.
Adam hitting Harmony.
And this bag.
Okay, it's redirect time, everyone. The state is now asking questions. She's already looking like there's a shift in her demeanor here. She's just like deer in the headlights, like, wait, what? Robin says, thank you, G and Mods. Gives me Carla Hallmarker vibes. Thank you so much. Yeah, a little bit, right? Okay, so the redirect we've been waiting for. Okay, here we go.
Bag that you have identified,
Yes.
is it similar, is it identical to the one that was brought to the Econo Lodge?
Yes.
Is it identical to the one that Adam left and then you hauled?
Yes.
And the stains that you mentioned, when did they make it onto that bag?
Before we left Guilford Street.
Before you left Guilford Street.
Yes.
And so that would have been before Harmony's body was ever placed in the bag,
Yes.
before the defendant murdered Harmony.
Yes.
I just boosted the sound a little bit more for you because he's walking around all over the place. Ben Agati from the state, he's a state prosecutor, and now redirect. Let's see if she starts crying. She does.
Before he
with
beat her
him.
to death in that parking lot.
Objection.
Yes.
Was that-
Sustained.
let me rephrase this. Was that before he beat her to death in the parking lot?
Yes.
Attorney Smith just showed you several items, saws, and I want to be very clear. The saw in my right hand was what the defendant discussed.
Objection, meeting.
Sustained.
Foundational question. Did he testify on direct that the saw in my right hand was the one that the defendant used, discussed using to dismember Harmony?
Yes.
Did you say that on direct? Because that's in fact what he did. He discussed using this to dismember Harmony.
Yes, he did.
And the saw in my left hand that the defense attorney showed you just now, was this similar to the item that was under your countertop?
Yes.
Attorney Smith asked you, she asked you about if that's when the defendant was losing it. What does losing it mean to you? Was that when he was hitting you? Was that something else?
Everything. He was abusive. He, in all ways, physical, emotional, and mentally.
You said physical, you said emotional, and you said mentally.
Yes.
And let's unpack that. How was he physical with you? How was he physically abusive towards you in that period before you escaped him?
He thought that I was telling on him or cheating on him or trying to kill him.
Okay. And how was he physical?
Okay. That is an interesting statement. He thought that I was telling on him, cheating on him, or trying to kill him. Okay, then.
With you in those interactions?
He wanted me to tell him who I was cheating on him with or if I was working with the cops. And I kept saying that I didn't. And he kept hitting me anyway. And then I started telling him that I did, even though I wasn't. And he still kept hitting me anyway.
My word, it's like showtime. Every time the prosecution asks a question, like I wish they could right now. Come on, Caroline, can you ask her a question right now? I know it doesn't work like that. She's had her turn out, but it would be interesting to see, like, you know, the difference there. Now she's going to cry for herself. Just remember. Well, it's in my opinion. I can't say just remember. In my opinion, when she does this, she's not crying for Harmony. No, we've seen that all day and on Friday. She's crying for herself. When she goes into this victim mode, okay, only cares about herself. What about Harmony, though? Oh, man, that's who the victim is in this case. Even if Kayla was a victim of domestic violence, this is about Harmony. And this woman, from everything we've heard, did not protect Harmony at all.
And let's talk about that. Why would you tell him that you were doing these things, working with the police why would you tell him that, even though you weren't at the time?
So that I wouldn't get hit.
Did he still hit you?
Yes.
You said that he was emotionally abusive to you. Tell the jurors about that.
Because he'd go back and forth with telling me to tell him that I was working with the cops, and he would accuse me of sleeping with the guy downstairs, sleeping with all these different people, that I came out of the window one night. I couldn't take care of the kids. He wouldn't let me do anything without him being there.
You said that he was mentally abusive to you. Can you tell the jurors how?
By asking me if I was working with the cops and making sure that I stuck with the story that he brought me to work and dropped me off and was bringing harmony to her mom.
And can you tell us who came up with that story?
He did, Adam.
And you stuck to it.
Yeah.
You stuck to it even though you knew you weren't working at the time. I'll rephrase. Did you stick to it even though you knew you weren't working at the time?
Yes.
Attorney.
It's unbelievable. You know, if you only see this, you might like feel really sorry for her. But if you see the context of the entire day on Friday and the entire day today, it really seems like showtime. Like she comes across as highly manipulative and just sort of crocodile tears on cue. Because it's not like I saw one tear this time. Last time she was doing all this and there were no actual tears. But wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Kathleen said, so now it's upsetting when she talks about her absence. Pernil says, I see tears, but tears for her. Wow. And Fanta says, jury needs to take note of when she's emotional and when she's not. I know I would. Yeah, we're taking notes, everyone, over here.
Smith asked you about Adam being pure evil. Did you think that Adam was pure evil?
When he would start going crazy, yeah.
And you mentioned the evil eyes. When he looked at you in that moment, evil eyes. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And was that right after he'd beaten Harmony?
Yeah, it just got worse.
Were there also good times with the defendant in that period?
Yeah. But it was mostly bad.
That's why you're writing letters when you're in prison, which was when, guys? Can someone still tell me the date? Can you remember? I think they said it was in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Writing little prison notes how badly she still wants to have sex with him. Okay, she still wants to make love to him. Oh, and even earlier when it's like, but if he had the face of evil, you know, the defense asked, you wouldn't love that, right? She's like, well, that's complicated. Oh, so you do love that. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's it. Scott says she's pining for her dear Adam. That's what I'm seeing. She's thinking about how much she misses him right now. That's what it seems like the tears are about. Like, oh no, our plan didn't work out. We are so busted. And all she wants to do is be together with him. Wow.
And in those bad times, were you hoping for the good times?
Yeah.
Kayla, do you still love the defendant?
I still care about him because he's the father of my children. He was my best friend. It's been hard for me to just let go.
Kayla, I want to switch gears with you just a bit. You mentioned that after the defendant had beaten Harmony to death, after your car died at that intersection, after the defendant realized that Harmony was dead, that he got a duffel bag out of the trunk. And Attorney Smith asked you about him getting that duffel bag out of the trunk. And you said that the trunk would not open.
Yeah.
And he had to go in through the back seats.
What's she crying for?
Can you tell the jurors why the trunk wouldn't open?
When the car died, nothing was electronic was working. The windows wouldn't go down. The car just stopped working.
He wasn't doing that shit before.
Kayla, I'm going to switch gears with you again.
Amazing how much, sorrow she shows for the car. Trunk doesn't open. Windows are not going up or down. Okay, but when you talked about Harmony, and if Adam checked for a heartbeat, when you talked about dried blood on her face, sure, we don't see any of these emotions. But when they talk about her mother's handsaw, or talk about the car that died, not the 5-year-old that died, sure, she's crying, guys. She's very upset about that. And she sounds like a freaking teenager that's still in love, just like, I don't really care about him, dude. He's my best friend. Oh, no. So even after he allegedly dismembers his own daughter, oh, he's still your man. You want to be with him. Okay. Like, oh, my goodness. One would think there's a limit, right?
Again, and I'm sorry to bounce around like this, but you talked about Mr. Badero, Anthony Badero, being a source of drugs, an occasional source of drugs.
Yes.
And Attorney Smith asked you about how these drugs would be purchased.
Yes.
And I believe the testimony that she asked you about was that sometimes you'd pay for them, sometimes he'd give them to you for free. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Would Mr. Badero also accept food stamps or SNAP as a form of payment for drugs?
Yes.
And when you were living in the car, is that a form of payment that he accepted?
Yes.
Did that lead to your family having to eat baby food as a result?
Yes.
Who was eating baby food while you were living in that car?
All of us. Myself and the boys. And Harmony.
Attorney Smith asked you about trying to keep things quiet in the parking lot of the Colonial Village Apartments that morning around 2, 3 a.m. when you woke up and the defendant.
I'm sorry for momentarily being distracted for 1 second there. Fury has decided he's going to walk all over my cables and fiddle with the green screen. So I'm just trying to prevent us from losing the stream. Everything's okay there. Okay, so back to this, feeling the poor, poor car. And remember,
Right.
she was collecting
She
food
got
stamps
emotions for that.
on Harmony's name to get drugs. Wow, now we know what it was for. So they don't want getting baby food and all that, sure, but also to give those food stamps to Anthony Badero to get drugs. That's so sickening.
Of course, because they had to get more drugs, so she was going to trade in those food stamps to get high. It's sickening, but it's an addiction, honey. You know what I'm saying? And it is very, very sickening. But until you have an addiction, you will never understand. The most sickening part, I think, is that she carried that child around and her other children around when she could have gave them to somebody that could do a better job. And the sickening part also that I can't stand is even though she was an addict, she's in recovery now and still do not have no empathy or sympathy or don't even have a care in the world. That tells you that she has a cold heart. That's the insane shit that I have a problem with her.
Was beating Harmony, striking her blow after blow. And you talked about the children not screaming. Is that because at the same time he was telling them to shut the fuck up? I think that was your testimony on direct.
Yes.
Who was he telling to shut the fuck up?
Harmony.
And was that before, during, or after he was brutally beating her?
Before and after.
Attorney Smith asked you several questions about Harmony, the changes that were happening to her. And she said that it was difficult for Harmony because of all the changes. And you agreed with that, but I want to ask you about that. Was it difficult for Harmony because of all the changes that she was going through?
Just a quick pause there. Ad Astra says SNAP is the name of a food stamp program. It's all on a debit card now. Thank you so much for that information.
Why don't you finish the question and then I'll rule on the objection.
So, Kayla, was it difficult for Harmony because of all the changes she was going through, or because she was terrified of the defendant?
Sustained. You may rephrase the question.
You know, these pitiful faces she's now making, it almost makes me feel like she's so sad that Harmony came into their life, you know, just that this happened. You know, I think there's a part of her that might even blame Harmony for and probably Crystal, because we know she can't stand her, Harmony's mother. You know, just like, oh man, I wish this never happened. Okay, then. Right.
Kayla, was it difficult for Harmony because of her fear of the defendant?
Objection.
It's a direct question. It's not a leading
Approach.
question.
Carolina was like, objection. Did you hear that? Objection.
Objection, baby.
Just like the audacity of him asking that.
So Kayla, was Harmony, was it because of all of these changes, or was it for some other reason?
Overruled.
Or was it for some other reason?
I think it was all of it.
And let's talk about all of it. Can you tell the jurors what all of it is?
Adam being abusive, physically and mentally, and everything she went through from her mom and her dad.
Oh, everything she went through, you know, from her mom. Oh, you want to blame Crystal for this? Oh, we hear you loud and clear, Kayla.
And Kayla, when you say Adam being abusive, you're talking about the accidents that you would have.
Yes.
During your cross-examination, this was last week, the defense attorney said during her examination of you that Harmony died in the car with you, right? And you weren't able to explain the answer that you given. Who else was in the car with you, with Harmony, when Harmony died?
Adam and the two boys.
And who was striking her repeatedly right before she died?
Adam. Are
you aware that the defense argued in their opening that something happened to Harmony in the middle of the night, and that thing killed her before the defendant was even around?
Right.
So is that true?
No.
Did Harmony die in the middle of the night alone with you when the defendant wasn't even there?
No.
So when you testified during the defendant's examination that you thought Harmony was sleeping but then found out she was dead,
Yes.
was that in the middle of the night, or was that the next day after your car broke down?
That was the next day.
That was after the methadone clinic.
Yes.
Kayla, you were just asked, so you were asked last Friday, about a letter that you'd written with various demands. Do you remember that? It's the defense exhibit G.
Yes.
In that letter, you discuss betraying the defendant, and the attorney asked you if you wrote betraying, but you weren't asked to explain what betraying meant. Can you tell the jurors what you meant when you said betraying?
I felt like I was betraying him, Adam, by telling what happened to Harmony. And I was fighting with myself because I didn't want him to be mad at me for doing the right thing.
Were you referring to the secret that you'd been keeping for 2 years?
Yes.
Were you referring to telling the truth about him beating Harmony to death? I'll strike that question, Judge. Last week, you were asked to describe a conversation that you had with the defendant where he agreed to take the fall for Harmony's death, but you weren't asked to explain what that meant. What did you mean when you said take the fall, or when he said take the fall?
That he wants me with the children, and no matter what happens, he's the one at fault.
Was he taking the fall for something that you did?
No.
Did you beat Harmony to death?
No.
Was he taking the fall for what he had done?
Yes.
It doesn't even make sense. Taking the fall for something he's done. Yeah, that would be taking responsibility. Taking the fall would imply that somebody else did it, but okay. Ellie, thank you for lurking and being here with us. Wow. Yeah, you guys are like, wait, what? Maurice, wait, what? Betraying Adam? What about Harmony? I know, right? Yeah, and Watson's puzzle said she misses Adam so much. Ugh. And I wonder, it must hurt her, that he's not in the courtroom. Which is a horrifying thought. You know who else is not in the courtroom? And this shouldn't even be happening? Harmony, who was murdered. That's the victim.
You said that in the spring of 2020, the defendant was acting strange. He was accusing you of telling on him for what he'd done to Harmony. What did you mean when you said he was acting strange?
Every time we got high, as soon as he got high, he started freaking out and just accused me of working with the cops, thought there was cameras in the house, the TV, smashed every phone we had.
Oh, so it sounds like he may have increased how much he was taking and getting extremely paranoid, right? Because he thought that they're being wiretapped, that the TV is listening to them, the phones and everything, which, yeah, Uncle Google, I think they listen to everything. Hey? But, yes.
Just destroyed the whole apartment.
When you were asked about lying to the grand jury, you said that he was stuck in your head. What did you mean by that?
That I stick with the story that he told me to say.
And that was stuck in your head during your testimony.
Yes.
I want to talk about that list of items.
Oh my goodness, she misses him so much. Bookish said, I think it's an important thing to see that her tears are genuine, but aren't for Harmony. Yeah, well said. Yeah, it's a good life lesson. People can dupe you with genuine emotions that aren't relative to the situation. Very true as well. Her tears could very well be real, not just Showtime or pretend or whatever. Yeah, it could be real, but for herself, for her love story with Adam ending, not for Harmony.
That you gave, your requirements, the things that you'd like before testifying. Did you get immunity?
No.
Where are you currently living, Kayla?
New Hampshire State Prison for Women.
Kayla, did you get to keep your children?
No.
Do you have any rights to them?
No.
Are you even allowed to speak to them right now, Kayla?
No.
You said that after the defendant repeatedly struck Harmony, after he put the blanket over her, after she moaned, after the strange crying, moaning stopped, after he did drugs, and after the car died, you thought that Harmony was asleep under that blanket.
Yes.
Why did you think that she may be sleeping after Adam repeatedly struck her?
Because she usually just goes to sleep after.
Oh my word. It's so sad. Like, she usually just goes to sleep after.
And you guys
Isn't that
let
so
her go
sad?
to sleep after. Insane.
After being hit.
Right.
Uncle Kevin had previously said that Adam would make her stand in the corner for hours, that he made her scrub the toilet with her own toothbrush. So hearing this, I'm just devastated for Harmony. It's so sad.
It's crazy.
Kayla, why stay
Maybe.
with someone? Why stay with someone that does this to you?
She was so
Because
tiny.
I was scared. And I still cared about him.
There you go. There you go. Because I was scared. No. Dig a little deeper. And because I still cared about him. Yeah, you still love him. You're still in love with him. You're
Right.
obsessed with him. That's why. I mean, at all costs. Even if he dismembers a child, right? His own daughter. At all costs. She's addicted to him.
Why has been the person that does this to you?
Because I was scared what would happen. I didn't want anybody getting in trouble.
You didn't want him getting in trouble.
Didn't want Harmony to be found, though. Didn't want her mother to know where she was or what happened to her. Didn't want the police to know. Lied to the grand jury. Why? Because she was scared what would happen to them, to her and
Right.
Adam, and the relationship, and their kids.
Exactly.
Sure.
Why stay with someone? Why stay with someone that does what you did to a helpless girl like this?
because for some reason I still cared about him.
Okay, then. There is something called hybristophilia. It's a disorder. Yeah. She loves him, no matter what. No matter what crimes he commits or what he does. Man, I'd love to dive into her background. Like, who's her dad? I'm not blaming, I'm just saying who's her dad. Like, I want to know the psychology of, like, sure. Horrifying stuff, horrifying.
That beat her to death.
She gets emotional when he gets up there and talks, but with that lady, she just can't stand her.
I don't know. I was scared.
I don't believe she was scared. I think she was in love.
In love.
That's my new thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy her saying scared. No, you're probably scared of what people think of you because you can't stop loving him. You know what I mean? If you don't know, hybristophilia is a sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes. In some cases, this may be directed toward people in prison for various types of criminal activities. He is a career criminal. If one
Yeah.
has hybristophilia, oh man, he's the perfect guy.
He sure is, girl.
So that is something she'll have to deal with, yes. But I mean, seriously, there's got to be a line somewhere.
Jesus.
If he's murdering his own daughter, that's just, wow, that's just sickening. And she's still, you could see, she kind of, even here, looks like almost ashamed of it. It's terrible. And she still has that sexual desire, which she expressed in her note in prison, and she expressed it on the stand on Friday. Wow. Yeah, Harmony should have never ended up in the situation with Adam Montgomery and Kayla. Never.
Attorney Smith asked you about a proffer agreement, your agreement to provide information about what the defendant had done, what had happened to Harmony. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
And she asked you about how none of those statements could be used against you. And I think you
Yes.
agreed with that.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you,
The other thing is that he was pretty much her, she was drug dependent and also codependent. And he's the one that protected her and got the drugs for them, right? He stole weapons. That's what his weapons trial was all about. He went out there doing all sorts of gangster things to get them drugs. So he was her supply. So when she says, for some reason, yeah, for that convenient fix that you also want, right? Oh my goodness. Which either way is a thing on its own, but to bring a child into the situation and have all these children, that's just like shame. One would wish that they could be like sterilized or something. That's controversial to say, but you know what I mean? Like, don't bring children into this mess. But then for Harmony, oh my goodness, to be taken out of foster care and reunited with her dad with that rap sheet and this type of behavior in history, even if he was clean at the time. They didn't check the house. They didn't check inside the house. They didn't check the living situation. Wow.
Kayla, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 102 for identification. And I'm just going to ask that you review that document and look up when you're ready.
Connie, I got to address your comment. You said I need to stop watching the stream. I don't think you understand domestic violence combined with drugs. I understand, but there's no excuse for helping dismember a child, cut her clothes off, watch her get beaten every day, to have dried blood on her face, sit in her own urine, never help her, never step up, never call 911, never call the paramedics, never call anybody. Kayla was just in love with this man. She didn't care about his child from another mother. She didn't care about that. No, the victim in this case is not Kayla. It is Harmony Montgomery.
That's right.
And I will forever protect the victims of crime. This one, no. Sorry, no. There's things she does that goes way beyond being a victim of coercive control, domestic violence, or drug dependent. There are things where she crossed the line totally. She's got selective memory. and she did things. So I would hope comments like that come from a place of being informed, actually doing the deep dive and checking out, all the homework we did before the trial, because you can't just look at this moment and then say, I'm being snarky towards her. There's a reason. We're looking at the entire picture, and we can all disagree. We can agree to disagree, debate. I'm fine with that. I just personally, I'm not here for this one. I have no empathy for her. No way. No, she's crying for herself. And she loves Adam. She's attracted to him. And she wants one last time with him. And we know it won't be one last time. If she could be with him physically, she meant sexual. She said she wants to make love to him. No, it's never going to end there. She'll want to be with him again and again and again, like she did before. She's addicted to him. Man, I feel sorry for Harmony. My word, that what a crime that she even ended up in their hands at all, right? Lilo CPS failed badly too. They did. Okie dokie 7 said trauma bonded, addiction, postpartum hormones, pregnant again, total mess. Such a total mess, right? And no protection for Harmony. Just toss a sandwich back, cover her with a blanket. It's terrible. And just remember, when I pull up a comment and I'm making, my own statement about it, it's because I want to just share my opinion on things. I'm not fighting with someone or attacking them personally or something. It's just an interesting discussion. I would hope we're all adult enough to be able to agree to disagree and have debates and discussions, right? So Forensic Fury says, stand your ground, G. This is about Harmony, not the two of them. It's about Harmony. That's the point. It's not about the two of them. And it goes so far beyond feeling sorry for Kayla or something. What about Harmony? Kayla didn't feel sorry for Harmony at all. We saw it now. And if you didn't see it, I would hope that you'd watch the full Friday, day 3, and the full day today to make an informed decision. On this channel, I'm very passionate about representing and advocating for victims of domestic violence, coercive control, of stalkers, of all those abusers. We go over it all the time. Yeah, I'm not here to feel sorry for Kayla. I'm here to advocate for Harmony Montgomery and what Kayla did there. And the way she still desires him today. If she could be with him right now, she would. I'm sorry, that's unforgivable. No, sorry. There was no protective instinct whatsoever for Harmony. In fact, I think that Kayla thought she's an inconvenience. She had resentment that she even came from another mother. And didn't really mind that she's out the picture, right? Even used her name to get food stamps, to get more drugs. Wow. That is there's a boundary for me. I got limits. And I would never enable someone like Kayla Montgomery. I'd never say, oh, shame. Never enable. Never. You do not enable someone like this. Hell no. She should be held accountable to a much higher degree than she is. But because of the plea deal, they really had to make a deal with the devil here to get the information. Because they're still hoping, the police are still hoping to find Harmony's remains and put her to rest. The way that she absolutely deserves to be. The way Adam chucked her around in pieces all over the place. And I wonder if she knows. I see a lot of us speculating. Do you think she knows where he put Harmony? Because what she says is that Adam never told her where he, got rid of all these bits of remains and the CMC bag and all of that. I don't know about that. And she said, because if this situation ever happens, he doesn't want her to be able to slip up and tell. Are you sure about that? Do we believe her that she doesn't know? Ooh, if she knows and she's not telling, I'm going to be even more mad. Then you're really going to see me snark, okay? But yes, if you don't like the snark and it's not for you, okay, bye. That's okay. I'm gonna be protective of that little girl, Harmony. Shame. She should never have been there. This judge is very good, huh?
Kayla, is that the agreement as you remember it?
Yes.
And do you recognize any of the signatures on that final page?
Yes.
Which one do you recognize?
Mine and my attorney and the AG.
Is that the true and correct agreement?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point, I move to admit states, what's marked for identification as states 102.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The ID may be stricken and will be entered as a full exhibit.
I'm going to take it back.
Oh, Forensic Bureau says, I believe Kayla knows where Harmony is right now. If she knows and she's not telling, can you imagine it? Yeah, I'd be so angry. Please, just give up that information then.
Kayla, does that agreement discuss how your statements can be used against you?
Yes.
Tell the jurors how your statements can be used against you.
If I lie.
Does it say what other than your statements can be used against you if you lie?
I could get charged with anything.
What's up, Top?
Does it discuss evidence related to Harmony, her body?
Yes.
Can that information also be used against you?
Yes.
Now, is that the information that you went to that meeting with?
Yes.
And you knew about that before you testified yesterday and today?
Yes.
Kayla, do you remember being, excuse me, do you remember being asked by the defense attorney last Friday about deciding to take an agreement with a prosecution?
Yes.
Do you remember Attorney Smith asking you the following questions, and you providing the following answer? She said, but you knew they had you solid on the perjury charges, right?
Yes.
And you said right to that. You were never getting around that one. Attorney Smith asked you. You were never getting around that one.
Right.
And so you decided this would probably be,
Objection. Lady.
Overruled.
and so you decided this would probably be the best you could do to get as few consequences as you can, as possible, for your actions as possible, right? Do you remember being asked those questions?
Yes.
Because people facing criminal charges make strategic decisions to admit to some lesser offenses to try to limit their legal exposure or get as few consequences for their legal actions as possible, right?
Right.
Now, the defense asked you about that legal strategy. So you think that they would be aware of it, right?
Yes.
Stand by. Objection Cake City. People can believe that Kayla knows where Harmony is. Please explain why we should believe her story on how Harmony died. In my opinion, we can't. Well, I'm sure there's some truth in there, even though she's told a lot of lies in the past. But actually, we don't know if any of it's true, except for the evidence that backs up the story she told. Like when she said that Adam put her body in the ceiling vent and they went there and checked the ceiling vent and there were actually stains and things that they tested, you know, or like that the car broke down on December 7th and she says it's the day that Harmony died. Okay. And she said how, but no one else was there to know. She is the only one. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Objection Cake, yes.
She got 4K likes. Go ahead, girl. Go
Are
ahead.
you aware that falsifying physical evidence, that
Wow.
abuse of a corpse, it's lesser than murder?
I wonder how she got this.
And are you aware that in their opening, they told this jury that that they can find the defendant guilty of falsifying and abuse of a corpse?
Yes.
Can you remind these jurors who killed Harmony?
Adam Montgomery.
If I could have just a moment. No further questions. Thank you.
I have my other laptop
Okay.
charging so I can get ready for the live today while this is recording, guys, because we have to do part 5.
Aware of what was said on
Um,
right?
so
Yes.
just got the shower and everything.
I'm sorry.
How were you aware of what was said at openings?
I was told by my lawyer.
Other
Your
stuff.
lawyer told you what.
Oh, Caroline is sharp. How do you know what was said at opening statements? She's like, okay, I was told by my lawyer. I don't know if she's allowed to watch it or not, but like, ooh, Caroline is so sharp.
What was said at opening?
You guys,
I'm not like here right now.
Pardon?
Can you rephrase the question, please?
Your Honor, may we approach?
Oh man. Sure. What a trial, huh? What a trial, you guys. Thank you so much for being here and watching this with me. This is very intense. Okay, let's go forward a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, long sidebar.
Please.
Is it break time? Looks like another coffee break time. Let's have a look.
Another coffee break time. Break time.
Wendy says, when judge says overruled, all I hear is Judge Doro, right?
He had been involved in the manipulation, well, the abuse of the course charge
Yes.
and the falsifying evidence charge.
Yes.
And you learned this the morning before you testified.
Yes.
And you learned this because your attorney spoke to you about it.
Yes. Overruled.
And learning this allowed you to prepare for the answers that you would give.
Yes.
And you discussed the ways that you would deal with this information.
Overruled.
Renee says, I missed it when they asked who killed Harmony. She looked at the jury and said, Adam Montgomery.
Not really, no.
Okay. You thought about this information and you knew that that was different from what you had told police and the prosecutors before.
Yes.
And you thought about this information and this pointed the finger at you, right?
Yes.
And you certainly didn't want to have the finger pointed at you, right?
Right.
And you wanted to think about and prepare yourself for how you would respond to those questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, yeah. Yes, indeed. You're getting busted by Caroline again. Mine says, if I'm not mistaken, I recently heard that sidebars are public as well. Not when the jury is present, then they mute those sidebars. So, and sometimes sometimes it's like now, when they were discussing outside of the presence of the jury, yeah, the cameraman just showed the flag and the ceiling. Could hear nothing there. But generally, when the jury's there, no, we can't hear any of that. So we skip over those because they're silent. We're not missing out on sidebar. Just so you know, in case you wonder if I'm like teleporting over sidebar. No way. I would want to know. I want to know what they say. But when it's mute, and it's silent for us, so yeah, well, we can't just watch. Well, we could just watch, but they would just, kind of wasting time a little bit because we can't hear what they're saying.
Okay. And
Prosecutors done messed up. They led the question. Yikes.
and it was sort of like the prep sessions with the state and with the police that you could think about things that had happened and maybe give a better or different explanation the next time you spoke to someone.
I'm sorry, I'm not. Yeah.
When the police during your interviews raised questions or skepticism about information that you gave them, you'd sometimes change your statements, right?
Overruled. No.
Well, when the police spoke to you in June 3rd, you said that you were not in the bathroom and that you were not involved with what happened in the shower when Harmony's body was at Union Avenue, right?
Right.
And then the next time you talked to the police, you said you were a little bit aware, and then you slipped up and said something, and the police said, "Did you cut any of the clothes off?" And you said, "Yeah, the hoodie."
Somebody said, I wish Carolina was
That's not how that happened, but
Okay. But you had denied anything, and then as time and their questioning went on, you acknowledged that you were a participant, right?
right.
Okay. And
Jojo says she's shrinking. Yeah, she's getting real small. She's
shrinking.
tired of this now. It must be exhausting, though. Honestly, it must be exhausting.
They both under live harmony.
you talked on direct about Adam losing it in after Harmony's body was in the shower, right?
Not that day, but yes.
Okay, sometime after, right?
Right.
And that he was accusing you of cheating on him,
Yeah.
accusing you of trying to kill him,
Yes.
accusing you of having cameras all over the house,
And other things, yes.
and accusing you of blaming him for Harmony's death to the police,
No.
accusing you of telling the police.
Right. You already said that.
Pardon?
You already said that.
Okay. So he was accusing you of telling the police that he had caused Harmony's death,
Yes.
and accusing you of telling the police that you were trying to poison him.
We about to witness
Yes.
another
He was
life
scared
one?
of you.
They said.
No.
Okay.
But he was, according to what she said. He said that she was
Notice how she's not crying? Are we about to witness another migraine?
either cheating on him, telling on him, or going to kill him. Now, Caroline brings up poisoning him? Damn, okay. Well, he really got paranoid. But it's interesting to hear that Adam, for a moment there, was scared of Kayla.
And
Right.
none of that was true, right?
What do you mean?
You weren't cheating on him, right?
Right.
And you weren't trying to poison him.
Right.
And you weren't accusing him of Harmony's death.
No.
He just sort of lost his mind for a while, right?
Yes.
And in that time period, he got violent.
Yes.
And you told the grand jury when you were talking about that time period that he punched you twice.
I don't remember saying how many times, but yes.
Or a couple of times.
Yes.
And that sounds right? Or do you want to see your grand jury testimony?
No, I was going to say yes.
Okay. And he punched you twice, and
Her eyebrows tell a tale.
The objection sustained.
you told the grand jury he punched you twice or a couple of times, right?
Right.
Come on, other laptop. Get me going, baby, so I can do this live tonight.
So, special case is Gisela, and thank you for spelling my name right. Gisela, do we know how much time Harmony spent with Adam prior to him obtaining custody? So he got custody of her, right, in February of 2019, and she was murdered on December 7th of 2019, allegedly. Before that, I think he'd seen her 11 times. A few times in prison, where Crystal had taken her to visit him, and then once a month or so when he was trying to get custody of her. Those 5 times. Let's say 3 times in prison. That's 8. So I think it was a total of like 11 times. 3 other times maybe. Yes.
Thank y'all for watching this. I so appreciate y'all for watching it with me. This is the continuation from yesterday. Adam Montgomery, wife, or soon to be ex-wife, actually. Kayla Montgomery is on trial. She is little Harmony Montgomery's stepmother. She had made a deal, and I'm pretty sure they is just trying to catch her behind out there. And they are whipping up some things that we haven't heard in part 1, 2, or 3. This is part 4 from yesterday. Due to my migraines, I had to slide it a little bit off, but we are continuing it back and we are going for part 5 later tonight. So hit that like button, y'all. All right, share this video and go give Gracie some love because we sharing her content as well and she's doing an amazing job. Thank you.
So, not that much.
When they continued asking questions, you could have asked to see your lawyer, right?
Right.
But you continued with the story, right?
Right.
Because you didn't have another one to say.
Because that's what Adam told me to say. I didn't know what else I was going to say. I just stuck with the story.
Okay. So you didn't know what else to say.
She's smirking, and I just
She is like,
love how Caroline like, okay.
cool.
The way she's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna ask you some more questions now. Sure.
No,
That
but
was so dumb of her to be like, yeah, wow, Kayla, what did you just admit to there?
So you stuck
Right.
with the story, right?
Right.
And you had talked before about betraying Adam, but weren't ready at the grand jury.
Right.
Okay. And
Ooh, did I get the laptop open? Did I get my other laptop? Come on, baby. I need to get my. Yes, okay.
and you said that you were afraid to do anything because you were afraid of what would happen, right?
Right.
And I think one of the things that you told the state that you were afraid of what would happen was that Adam threatened to have Kevin kill you.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin is the uncle that used to live in the.
Do you guys believe that? Maybe Adam threatened it, but I don't think Uncle Kevin would be involved in any such thing. He looked completely traumatized, right?
77 Guilford Avenue, right?
Yes.
And the one that was in that fight with Adam that you said that you overheard in the summer.
Yes.
Okay. State talked to you about your
Move this over.
cooperation agreement that you
Going up
reached
here.
before talking to the police about
Me and you both, Izzy, got
What
both my
happened?
laptops,
that
girl.
you said have no harmony, right?
Right.
And one of the things that it said was that your statements couldn't be used against you, right?
Right.
And they wanted the truth, right?
Right.
And you told them when you first spoke after having this agreement that you did not go into the shower at Union Avenue when Adam was manipulating the body, right?
Right. Right.
And that was not the truth, right?
No.
And didn't get in any trouble for it, right?
Right.
You just changed your testimony, right?
Right.
Basis.
I'll rephrase.
Okay.
Your statement, right?
Right.
And as time went on and they would approach you with things, you might adjust your statement to fit some of the questions, right?
Right.
Okay.
We're almost there, guys, and then we want to see Kim Frayne on the stand. Dr. Tracy says, why does the defense get a second redirect? Does anyone know the answer to that? Because I'm also used to, like, the direct examination, cross, redirect. Now, why is there another cross? I know it just works different in different states. That's what I have learned from covering all these trials. I'm like, different states, different rules. Like here, Adam Montgomery has the right to choose to be in the courtroom every day or not. I don't think it's like that in every state.
And by that agreement, you were supposed to only tell the truth, right?
Right.
And your story changed somewhat, right?
Right.
And at the grand jury, you were only supposed to tell the truth, right?
Right.
And you lied.
Right.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, no further questions.
All right, you may sit down.
Okay. Sure, they could call her back, right? Unless they release her now.
State may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right now.
At this time, the state calls Ms. Courtney Garcia to the stand.
Courtney Garcia. Okay.
Courtney Garcia.
That's a different one. Kim later.
All right, come on, Courtney. What you got for us? Is this the friend? Who is this?
When you get there, if you could please just remain standing for a brief moment.
So that's all
Ms.
they
Garcia, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you will give this jury will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please feel free to have a seat.
Thank you.
And feel free to pour yourself a glass of water if you'd like for any reason. Ms. Garcia, as we're being recorded here today, would you please state your full name and spell both your first and your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is Courtney Garcia, Courtney Garcia.
Okay, thank you. And what city do you live in?
Manchester, New Hampshire.
How long have you lived here?
About 5 years.
And are you currently employed?
Not at the moment.
Okay. What kind of jobs have you had in your life?
I've had some supervisor positions. I've worked as a counselor in the addiction field, restaurant jobs.
Okay. And currently, right now, do you have any children?
I do.
Okay. How old?
13 months.
It sounds like a handful.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, with regards to the name Adam Montgomery, have you heard that name before?
Yes.
All right. How do you know Adam Montgomery?
He is a childhood friend of my husband,
Okay. And what's your husband's name?
Matthew Garcia.
Ooh, a childhood friend of her husband. Okay, Adam Montgomery is a childhood friend of her husband. Okay.
With regards to Adam Montgomery, have you met him in person before?
I have.
And also, at any point in time, were the two of you working together?
Yes, he was one of my employees.
The first witness, please, Your Honor.
So may.
Garcia, I'd like to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 101. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, that's Adam Montgomery.
That's Adam Montgomery. Same man, Adam Montgomery that we're talking about.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you very specifically about Mr. Montgomery. I'd like to ask about Thanksgiving of 2019, if I can.
Okay.
Did you see Mr. Montgomery on Thanksgiving of 2019 or around that time?
I did on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving Day?
Yes.
Okay.
It was in the evening.
I'm sorry, in the evening?
Yes.
Okay. And I would ask if you can just kind of scoot a little bit more forward, actually. You saw him in the evening, right?
Correct.
And when you saw him in the evening, let me ask, did you become aware of where he was living at the time?
Yes, I did. He was living in his vehicle.
What did the car look like?
It was a Chrysler Sebring, very bald tires, silver to my knowledge.
And where did you see him that evening?
I saw him at the Pestataquag, I think that's how you pronounce it, apartments in Manchester, New Hampshire, in the parking lot.
Okay. What, if anything, did you do for him that day?
My husband and I provided Adam gas money, and we offered him a place to stay.
And that was on Thanksgiving, correct?
Correct.
All right. And what did Mr. Montgomery say to that when you offered him a place to stay that night?
Interesting. Do any of you recall Kayla saying any of that? Because I don't think she brought this one up before. She's brought up Anthony Bordero and all of that. But Courtney Garcia offering gas money and a place to stay. I'm keen to hear how Adam responded to that. Also, we're going to have another stream right after this, even though it's going to be midnight for me or after, okay? To talk about the Rachel Morin case and those updates. I do not live under a rock. I'm aware of it. I'm just trying to manage my energy, especially because trial days are long hours and, you know, it's a
God,
lot.
I know.
So, but we will have a stream right after this. You'll be teleported there to discuss that, okay? Oh, let's see what happens here next. Okay, now how long is the sidebar? Quite a long one.
Our location.
Wait, go there. Okay. Yeah, so Madeline says she talked to Adam, not Kayla. Yeah, I'm aware, but they were living in the car and she saw them in the parking lot, right?
Right.
Okay.
She was using the bathroom in the vehicle.
What, if anything, did the defendant say about Harmony now being with her mother as compared to Harmony being with Adam?
I'm sorry, not.
Sure. At any point in time, did he talk about what kind of, with regards to what Harmony was being provided for, what she could be provided for from her mother as compared to what Adam was able to offer at that time?
A home.
A home?
Yes.
Just a moment, please, Your Honor.
So the timeline they're looking at now is that Courtney saw Adam and Kayla in the parking lot. They said the kids were in the car. They were living in the car already around Thanksgiving of 2019. Actually, on Thanksgiving is what they said. We also know from the timeline that Harmony was allegedly murdered on December 7th of 2019. And so this witness saw them, especially Adam, between, well, sometime in December 2019 to January of 2020. And they spoke about Harmony multiple times. And Adam had actually said he returned her to her mother, Crystal, because Harmony was just having all these accidents in the car. Man, if only that were true. You know?
She
Why
would be
didn't he
gone.
just do that? But he did say to Crystal in the past, when I get custody of her, you will never see her
Never.
again.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Is Kimberly Frayne. Now, her husband, ex-husband now, was Chris Frayne. Adam Montgomery stole weapons from Chris. Adam used to be, see, now people are going to say they weren't friends. They just used together, okay? They used to get high together. Adam and Kim used to meet up to use drugs together. So, former friends, you know? But this lady's, I quite like her. She's very snarky, where she answers the questions. I saw at the weapons trial, right? As I said. Now, let's hear what she's got to say.
That
Where's
the
the-
testimony you
There
give
we
this
go.
jury will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Please feel free to have a seat.
Teresa says, who's the guy that just gave Kim the peace sign? That would be Dolly Vision, a YouTuber. Yes, indeed.
Ms. Frayne, as we're being recorded here today, would you please state your first and your last name for the record and spell them out for us?
Kimberly, Kimberly, Frayne, Frain.
Thank you, Ms. Frayne. Appreciate that. With regards to New Hampshire, do you live in the state?
Yes.
Okay. And generally, what town do you live in?
Meredith.
In Meredith. And what are you doing for work right now?
I'm working in healthcare at a hospital.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
Almost 3 years.
How far have you gone in school?
I'm actually back in school now.
Oh, what are you studying?
Where?
What? I'm sorry. What are you studying?
It's kind of long. Healthcare administration.
Okay. And how long have you been, or how long do you have to go before you get a degree?
Like 3 more years.
3 more years.
Yeah.
All right. Pardon me. So I'm going to ask just one question at a time. So I'd ask you to please listen carefully to either my question or any other counsel's question that you get asked. And if I'm talking too quickly or if you don't understand my question, just let me know. I'll be happy to restate it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Prior to where you live now, did you used to live in Manchester back in 2019?
Yes.
All right. And do you know of somebody by the name of Adam Montgomery?
Yes.
Did you ever used to work at a Dunkin' Donuts on Beach Street in Manchester?
Yes.
How long did you work there?
Like 5 years,
About 5 years?
maybe.
Okay. Let me ask, you also know the name Kayla Montgomery.
Yes.
And what was when you, and have you met Kayla Montgomery?
Yes.
Right. What's the relationship between Kayla Montgomery and Adam Montgomery when you first met them?
I met them at work. We worked together. First, I worked with Kayla, and then Adam worked with us too.
With regards to Kayla and Adam, did you ever meet Adam's daughter, Harmony Montgomery?
Once.
One time?
Yes.
Did you ever spend time with her?
Yes. I babysat her and the 2 boys, or 1 boy at the time, at my house.
At your house?
Yeah.
And would this have been back in 2019?
Yeah, I think it was the summer of 2019.
I'd like to ask some specific questions for you about Adam Montgomery, specifically about beginning in the winter of that year, at the end of 2019. All right?
Okay.
Right. Did you ever bring Adam Montgomery jumper cables to try to start a car?
Yes.
How many times have you done that for him?
Once.
Just the one time.
One time.
How did he reach out to you for help?
He either called me or it was on Facebook. I can't remember which. And he said that their car had died and it was freezing out and they wanted me to come jumpstart their car. I told them no, but they kept begging and I felt bad. So I went.
Okay. So you said maybe they messaged you or reached out on Facebook. Is that right? Did you have a Facebook account at one point that just went by the name Kimberly Frayne?
Yeah.
Right. And is that the account that he might have messaged you on?
Yeah.
What time was this? What time of morning was this that Adam reached out, or you got these messages asking for a jump?
It was in the middle of the night. I just remember that. It was late.
So did you go to where they were and give them a jump?
I did.
Where did you go?
It's behind Elm Street in, I think it's Colonial Apartments.
Okay. And is that at the south side of town, west side, or north side of town?
It's like right down the road from my house on the north side.
Okay. When you saw them, do you remember what kind of car they were in that night?
Yeah, they were in a blue Audi.
Now, when you went to meet them, first of all, what was the weather like that night?
It was cold. It was freezing.
So when you got there, who, if anybody, got into your car?
I pulled up and I don't remember the beginning, but I don't think I brought a jumper pack that my ex-husband had, and a Good Samaritan came by and him and Adam jump started it, and Kayla jumped in my car with the 2 boys and we just blasted the heat to keep them warm.
To keep them warm?
Yeah.
So you said it was Kayla and the 2 boys?
2 boys.
Okay. So I know you said before that you had babysat Harmony on one occasion. Was Harmony there with you? Did she get into the car as well with Kayla and the 2 boys?
No.
Did you see Harmony at all while you were there that night?
No.
And I believe you said a Good Samaritan came along. Do you remember who that is or even know who that
No,
is?
it's just somebody in the complex saw us struggling.
Okay. And I guess I'll ask this one other question. After that one time, did you ever jump a car for them again?
No, I was distancing myself from that.
Do you remember the exact day that this occurred in the winter of 2019, end of 2019? Okay. Just that it was very cold out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Just a moment, please.
What we know from the timeline is that was after Harmony was murdered, after the Chrysler Sebring had broken down. Then Anthony Bodero had let them use his Audi for a few nights. And it was that car, that Audi, that also packed up like the Sebring. I think the battery or whatever died. So that's why they phoned Kim. Because they were freezing, Just so you know, the timeline. So they are talking about December of 2019.
Please, Your Honor.
She didn't see
Thank you, Your
harmony.
Honor, and thank you, Ms. Fran. I have one more question just for you in general. With regards to conversations that you've had with Adam Montgomery, the defendant in this case, with regards to those conversations, did you ever have a conversation with him about Harmony having bathroom accidents or wetting herself or defecating herself in her pants?
I don't think so. Not him.
Not him?
No.
Okay. With anybody else?
Maybe with Kayla, but I don't remember exactly.
Well, and I don't want you to guess. So if you remember, you remember. If you don't, you don't.
I
That's
don't.
okay. And so you're saying your testimony is you don't.
I don't remember.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for your time. I have no further questions for you. I believe defense counsel may have a few.
Thank you.
Counsel, you want to move? Come up.
Yes, Your Honor.
About that? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, and I only have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Do you recall that whatever car that you jumped, you thought it was a blue Audi?
Yeah.
And you know from before that Adam used to drive a Sebring.
It was a silver car.
Okay. This was not the car that Adam used to drive around, right? And you remembered this way back in 2021 when the police first asked you about it, right?
Yeah.
And your memory, even the first time you talked about it, was a blue Sebring. Blue Audi.
No, I think I might have told them I think I told them it was the silver car, but
Okay.
it was the Audi they were in.
Okay, so you're really clear about that, huh?
Yeah.
So what changed when you first said the Sebring and then sort of recalled the Audi?
I just couldn't remember the time frames because it was so long ago.
Okay, so I understand that, but what changed your recollection of the type of car?
Overruled. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I think you said at first you told him it was the Sebring, but then
Thank you, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I must say, when I did a course with Laura Richards, who's got all kinds of degrees, psychology degrees, lots of experience, she said there's no such thing as Stockholm Syndrome or trauma bonding, which I was like, what? And it all goes under the banner of coercive control, which is what I saw on Friday with Kayla. I thought she was a victim of coercive control, and plausibly she could still be. However, she could also, as someone said earlier, be a scumbag herself. You know what I mean? And sure, I think she crossed the line from just being a victim to now also being more like an accomplice, you know? It's kind of like if wanted to say, I don't know, like Fred and Rosemary West. I mean, you could argue a lot of things there, but at some point, you cross the line and you become just like the person you're addicted to, clearly, like this one, Kayla, sure, the way that she is obsessed with Adam to this day and desires him sexually, that's a disorder in itself. So yeah, but thank you so much for your sticker. We're almost done with today's court day. Someone was asking how long still. I think it's 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes or so, I think.
the blue Audi when they first started questioning you on it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what it was that made you say that it was the blue Audi?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further?
Wow.
You may
That
sit
was
down.
quick.
Counsel approach.
Oh, come on. I was I was so excited to see this witness. Ask her more things. Like she was so good at the weapons trial. If you guys didn't see it, she was on for hours. Like, man. And if I knew she was going to be called, I didn't see her name on the witness list. Maybe I missed it. Maybe that was my error. And then I would have put a snippet of her in, right? But anyway, we saw her now. So that was that. Okay. You can go to thelaurarichards.com to learn about who I'm talking about. Her channel is called Crime Analyst as well. I learned a lot from Laura, honestly, and listening to her and Jim Clemente. Very fascinating. Their podcast is called Real Crime Profile. Like a cameraman is like, let's show everyone who's sitting here, show them all. It's not actually that full of a courtroom, huh? Wow. Oh, we've got the crickets again. I need to put the cricket sound on here so that when they show the chair like that, we play the crickets. Yeah, no, Adam is not there. Someone said earlier that per Law and Crime, Adam is watching via closed circuit, right? So he's somehow watching this courtroom feed. Let's hope he's not watching with us. Don't watch with
It's
us.
10:04, and I don't want to get started with another witness and take you too long beyond 4 o'clock. So we're going to end for the day.
Nice, nice.
I know earlier when I left this morning, there were some reports about weather. I have kept an eye on it as we've taken breaks throughout the day. The reports actually look much better than was originally anticipated.
Well, we're gonna end that. That was day 4 of the Adam Montgomery trial. Look what hubby surprised me with, y'all. Y'all saw that? Unbelievable. I'm gonna get ready to do day 5 on the live, and I have some other stuff that I wanna give you guys. So stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that like button. Keep your notification on because we're going live mostly all day today, guys. If you don't mind, unless you got some Valentine's with your hubby that you want to do. But baby, it's Valentine's all day today. So I will see y'all later. The crime don't stop because the cases don't stop. Okay? Justice for all. Until then, peace out. Keep those notifications on. Bye, guys. Aww. And the card says, Happy Valentine's Day to my wife, the brains of the operation. He ain't never lie, y'all. So adorable. He surprised me all the time. Have a peace day. See y'all in a few. Bye-bye.